This episode on Agile Octane,
we're gonna get your Jeep to stop leaking on our driveway.
check it out, I got a new Jeep. Woohoo!
Wow, this thing's pretty cool. I love it.
Let me get some cardboard.
Wait a second, what are you doing with that?
Well, I mean, it's got a little bit of a transmission fluid leak. That's how I got such a good deal on that thing.
Hey, why don't the door panels match the roof?
Well, you see, it's kind of a new roof. That's really awesome, but it's an older window panel. But hey, don't worry. I can totally fix that. No problem at all.
Hey, what is this crack here about?
Yeah, I mean, cracked windows are really common on Jeeps. It's no big deal. I can get that fixed super cheap. No problem at all.
Hey, honey, what are you doing?
Just adding some transmission fluid. It's about a quart every 2 or 3 weeks.
You haven't got that thing fixed yet?
Well, no. I mean, it's not that much. And think, this is kind of like an advantage because I always have fresh transmission fluid in the car. And, it's a little known fact, but transmission fluid is actually a detergent. So whenever I park it and it leaks and then I hose it off, I'm actually kind of cleaning up the world around me. Yeah, I'd say this is a feature. We probably just want to leave it this way. This is great.
Oh, good glory. Hey, your doors still don't match your top.
Well, yeah, I know. It's not a big deal. I got a solution for that. Check it out. I was out at the store the other day and I got this trim and plastic restored. It's going to be great, but it's been raining a whole lot and I don't want to put it on and just waste it. So I got a solution. We'll put it in sometime, but we don't have to worry about it today. It's going to be taken care of. Don't you worry about that.
Hey, this window is still cracked.
Well, yeah, I mean, okay, so the window's still cracked. But check it out. It's on the passenger side. I mean, I hardly even notice it. And it doesn't leak when it's raining or anything like that. I did price it out, and it's a little bit more expensive than I originally thought it might be. So here's what we're going to do. When another rock hits it, and it cracks again, and something, it starts leaking, something's going wrong, that's when we really need to put the money into it and fix it. Right now, it's working just fine. Let's just leave it the way it is. Check it out. Isn't that an awesome Jeep?
So, love the Jeep, but what does it have to do with Agile?
Wow, yeah, so buying the Jeep, we had a budget. We knew we had to get something used, and so we had to make some concessions. So it's got a little bit of a transmission leak. Not a big deal. I see a lot of times that same thing happens in Agile transformations. You start out and you don't have the ability to go do everything right at the start, so we start to make some concessions, and organizations may make some team concessions, like, hey, we can't go buy a brand new product owner that makes everything work perfect, so we'll take an internal resource, train them up into that role. Or a tool ecosystem. Yeah, man, we can't go buy something awesome. Heck, we don't even know what we need yet. So we'll cobble together something with PowerPoint, Google Sheets, Excel, Jira, all kinds of different things cobbled together to try to make something work. Code wrangling. I see this a lot of times where we'll just take some and we'll do it manually at first, no automation at all, no automated testing. And the idea is we'll grow into that later. We're going to make some concessions now. And the biggest one that you see happen a lot, which is probably the hardest one, is we'll make concessions around business processes. Our funding model will still be a toll gate, waterfall funding model. And we're expecting to do Agile execution outside of that. So that can be some big problems. And long term, that creates some serious issues.
Right. Okay, but with the TJ, it's been 6 months on this leak.
Oh yeah, 6 months is hardly any time at all. I mean, sometimes I'll walk into organizations and it's 2 or 3 years and they haven't gone about making any of these necessary changes. And they kind of just learn to live with it. It becomes part of the normal operating rhythm. And the worst thing of all is when these things sit in there so long that they don't even know any different. They don't know that it's a problem. They've actually grown to accept it as the normal day-to-day operating rhythm.
Wow. So, okay, well, what do we do about that?
Well, great question. So baked in to your Agile ecosystem are retrospectives. You've got those that should be happening every 2 weeks at the team level. Now, oftentimes what will happen with those is teams just provide, hey, we're going to do 15 minutes. Let's just stack it on top of a demo. And it just becomes a normal, just we're going to do surface level things. Generally, there's not a lot of value in that. So one of the things you can do initially is just start doing your team retros with more time dedicated to it. Do 5 whys, get into deeper stuff. Beyond that, I think working across teams and with management to do retrospectives in the SAFE methodology, real popular today, they have baked in an inspect and adapt workshop where you pull many teams together, you pull leadership together and work on stuff. And I've had a lot of fun doing that kind of thing, whether in SAFE or not in SAFE, but even just taking like a Shark Tank approach or a hackathon approach, and done some things where I put 5 different problems on walls around the room, and people go to solve whatever problem they want to work on. And after several hours, maybe 4 hours, they present back to management, and management commits to actually implementing whatever the winning problem was. Things like that can be really helpful.
So it's fun. Well, what if you don't feel like you're high enough in the org to initiate a Shark Tank or get anyone involved in that? What if you feel like your higher up management won't invest in the people in your teams?
That's a real problem. So that's usually where your consultants, agile coaches, people like that can come in to help. So raising a flare for those guys is helpful. But one thing you can always do is invest in yourself. And I'm not even talking about spending a lot of money, although conferences and training certifications are really nice. But just go to a meetup. I would bet in any town you're in, there's a meetup happening right now centered around agile practices. Find one of those. Go to over on agileoctane.com. We've got some of those listed and trying to pull together a list just by geography of different meetups going on. Another place you can plug in is communities of practice. So again, just part of Agile Octane, we've got those that happen monthly across companies, and it's via Zoom. You don't even have to leave your den. But start up a community practice in your business if you want to do that. Find people from around. Get some folks that might have a broader perspective and invest in yourself that way.
I love that so much, especially with the new year, just right around the corner, 2019. So what I'm really hearing you say there is, commit to making something better this new year.
That's the key. That's the key. As someone recently asked me, what's the mark of a good Scrum Master? And the first thing that came to my mind is you're always improving something, right? So let's make a commitment to improve something. All right, well, that's kind of the big deal there. I guess it's time for me to go work on the Jeep now. Thanks very much. Have a great day. This episode on Agile Octane,
We're gonna get